We are going to continue in our third part of solving rational equations, and my goal here is to use the same principles that we've seen in the previous two lessons and just give you some more examples for your notes that you're able to reference as you're practicing and to also aid in understanding. So again, we're going to apply our understanding of solving linear and quadratic equations to solving rational equations, and we're going to check our answers. I've listed the steps for you again that we're going to continue to do. We'll factor our denominators, we'll determine our least common denominator, that'll cancel them out, and then we'll just solve the remaining equation, which will be something that we've done before. And then we'll make sure that our solutions don't make the denominator equal to 0. And then, again, just to know, as you're going through these problems, when you have a fraction equal to a fraction, you can use cross multiplication. Okay, so first solve for x. So we have x plus 4 over x equals -5. Now I know only one of these terms is a fraction, but there is a variable or polynomial in the bottom, which means that we're dealing with a rational equation. Okay, so what I would do is I would make everything a fraction. We determine our least common denominator, and our least common denominator in this case is just x, or 1x, because I can take the 2 that I just made, denominator of 1, multiply those by x, and then I have common denominators. Okay? So the first fraction I need to multiply by x in the denominator, so then I multiply by x in the numerator. And then I have 4 over x, which has my LCD, and then on the right-hand side, times x over x. Okay, so now we have x times x over x plus 4 over x is equal to -5 times x over x. This is where we can let go of our denominators, and then since we've been doing this, I'm going to continue on. X times x is x squared, not 2x. Okay, that x plus x is 2x. X times x is x squared. Okay. Plus 4 equals -5x. Hey, look, x squared, quadratic. Make sure it's set equal to 0 unless you identify that you can use the square root property. So now we have x squared plus 5x plus 4 is equal to 0. We are looking for two numbers that multiply to 4 and add to 5, which would be 4 and 1. So we have x plus 4, x plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, from here we would get x is -4 by setting it equal to 0, and x is -1. Okay. And then before we circle it, we look back at our original and make sure that if we substitute in either of these solutions into x, that we're not going to make the denominator 0. And in this case, we wouldn't, so we circle those, and those are our two answers. Example 2, solve for x. So we have 3 over x plus 3 plus 1 over x minus 3 equals 14 over x squared minus 9. Remember that x squared minus 9 is the special factorization. That's the difference of two perfect squares. Okay, so this becomes x minus 3, x plus 3. Okay, so when you're looking at your least common denominator, using multiplication to get them all to the same thing, or for instance, like this, these two have an x minus 3, this first fraction needs it. The first fraction and the last fraction have x plus 3, our middle fraction needs it. Okay, so our least common denominator is x minus 3, x plus 3. Okay, so we get started. So we multiply this by x minus 3 on top, x minus 3 on bottom. Okay, the second fraction, we need an x plus 3 on the bottom, so we multiply by x plus 3 on top, and then the fraction to the right of the equal sign already has our least common denominator. Okay, so now we have, I'm going to just, for the sake of space, just cross these off. Okay, we've been doing that. I do want to see, though, that you've got the least common denominator and the steps you took to get there. Okay. So this would be 3 times x minus 3 plus 1 times x plus 3 is equal to 14, and then we continue to solve. So we distribute the 3x minus 9 plus x plus 3 is equal to 14. I'm going to combine like terms. I'm just dealing with x as a single power of 1, not x squared. Okay, so this is 4x minus 6 is equal to 14. Add 6 to both sides. And we have 4x is equal to 20. If we divide both sides by 4, we get x is equal to 5. before you circle it and say that's your final answer, go back and check and make sure that it doesn't make any of the denominators 0. It won't make x plus 3 0, it won't make x minus 3 0, and it won't make x squared minus 9 0. So our answer here is x minus 5. X equals 5. All right, example 3, solve for x. So we have 1 divided by 5x plus 20 minus 5 over x squared minus 16 equals 8 over x minus 4. So I'm going to deal with the negatives. This is like negative 1 times 5. Okay, so it's going to become plus a negative 5. And then when you factor your denominators, again, make sure you're looking for the greatest common factor first. So between 5 and 20, this is 5 times x plus 4. Okay, I have negative 5, again, difference of two perfect squares. X minus 4, x plus 4 equals 8 over x minus 4. So we have a lot going on with this one. Okay, so first, our first fraction has a 5, the others don't. So the others will need a 5. So 5 is part of our least common denominator. Okay, again, x plus 4, but our last one is sad, it doesn't have it. So it needs it. Okay. And then we keep going, x minus 4, x minus 4. But our first fraction is alone now, this time. So this would be x minus 4. Okay, now they're all accounted for, they're all taken care of. So our least common denominator here is 5 times x plus 4 times x minus 4. Okay, so our first fraction needs an x minus 4 on the bottom, so it needs x minus 4 on top. Our second fraction is missing a 5, so we multiply by 5 on bottom and top. And our third fraction is missing x plus 4. Okay, so here's what we have. So I'm going to cross off the denominators now. So I have 1 times x minus 4, which is just x minus 4, plus negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. And this is equal to 8 times x plus 8 times 4. So I have x minus 4 plus a negative 25 equals, oh, I forgot to multiply this one by 5. If we were in class, somebody would have told me. This needs a 5 as well. So this should have been 40. So remember, I will multiply my numbers first and then I'll do the distribution. X plus 4. Okay, so I am going to, on the right-hand side, this is x minus 29 equals 40, x plus 160. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the next slide and I'll rewrite this at the top. Okay, so I'm just dealing with a linear equation here, so I'm going to get my x's together. So I have negative 39x minus 29 equals 160. And I'm going to add 29 to both sides to get negative 39x is equal to 189. And then I divide both sides by negative 39. Okay, so I get x is equal to negative 189 divided by 39. And you can use your calculator to simplify or divisibility rules. Both of these numbers are divisible by 3. So x is equal to negative 63 over 13. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me.